Hello, I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that might take us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here is to seriously not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Hello, this is Lizzy.
And this is Izzy, and welcome to the We Need Help podcast.
This week we are reviewing Aubrey Marcus's passionately written book called Own the Day, Own Your Life. It's a how-to for almost every avenue of your life. Written by the founder of Onnit, a holistic health optimization company. This book is everything from step-by-step behaviors on what to eat, what supplements to make your body work the best, and how do you manage your bedroom routine, including your bedtime.
Mine is definitely not it's more like
yours is
it's like
No, so let's go right into it. This book I had read 2 weeks before we read it for the podcast.
Yeah.
And reading it for the podcast made a huge difference when reading it. How did you like it?
Well, it's so funny because you mentioned like 2 weeks, before, like you're reading this book called Own Your Life, and I immediately hated the title because I was like, it sounds exhausting. So I was like, managing every aspect of my life. Like that's what I was trying to do years ago, and I failed miserably, and then I almost drank myself into oblivion because I couldn't do it. It was like too much pressure. Mm-hmm. And
that it actually, like there was a lot in it that felt exhausting.
Yeah. And agreed. However, yes. I think it's just like anything else, any other book I read, like any other self-help book, I took what was going to work for me. And I think if you approach it that way, for me, that's like, okay, this works. So it did help me out in some ways, and we'll talk about that later on in the podcast. But if I want to do it the way he does it from A to Z, I think I would have a nervous breakdown.
I know I would.
Yeah.
I 100% know I would. Can you tell me a little bit about Aubrey?
Yeah, so
Aubrey
he's a dude. He's definitely a dude.
He's a dude. He is a fucking dude.
What was so interesting is because I'm like, my part is, I'll research the author, and it was really hard to find anything about him. Like he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. So,
really?
Yep. And
that
I was like,
surprises me.
Yeah.
Aubrey, if you're listening, get a Wikipedia page to make Izza's life easier, please.
Yeah, seriously. And then, when people don't have Wikipedia
he's on everything else. He's on everything else.
I'm like, do I really have to, go through all this material to get to know who you are? Like, just give me the Wikipedia page. But I did find some information. So he was born February 28th, 1981. So he's a Pisces, too. So we did a Pisces author last time.
We're just strictly doing Pisces.
I'm a Pisces, so no other authors are coming into play.
Yeah. We may make an exception for a Gemini, like Jeffrey Dahmer might get in here.
Maybe. Did he write a book? He should have.
We'll see.
So
it's a cookbook.
I saw this amazing meme with Jeffrey Dahmer, and it was him at a Five Guys, like the burger place, holding a burger and saying, "This doesn't taste like Five Guys." Which I just thought.
Okay, these meme makers, they're geniuses.
Is it still too soon? So.
Is it too soon? I don't think 5 minutes after it was too soon.
I was during is not too soon for me.
He was making up his own memes as he was killing people.
In prison. He's like, what else am I going to do? I'll make memes.
Oh my God.
So his father is a pretty wealthy commodities trader, Michael Marcus, and his mother is Kathleen Harder, who's a tennis player. and his stepmom is a naturopath. And so he made his...
Oh, oh, I bet Tennis Mom is pissed.
Tennis Mom's like... just... I'm just picturing like a broken racket in a driveway and a tennis ball with a knife through it. So Aubrey Marcus, his first name was Michael Aubrey Christopher Marcus. That is his full name given to him at birth.
I love it.
Yeah, but he changed it after his 30th birthday because he loves psychedelics, and after an ayahuasca experience...
Okay, I missed something. What?
He likes...
Say that to me again.
He's a proponent. Is that the word? Proponent? He prepinates. He likes...
He's a supporter of...
Thank you. He likes psychedelics, like he for therapeutic purposes. So he's a fan of ayahuasca. God.
He's just like my stepdad. He loves anything like that. Do you? Okay, listen to this.
Yeah.
He will get mushrooms and take them, and my mom will drive them around.
They need their own reality show. Is that? Like they really need a reality show.
They really do. They really do.
So he would really probably like Aubrey. Aubrey, after his 30th birthday, he had an ayahuasca experience, and he had a spiritual awakening.
After reading the whole book, I think my dad would not like Aubrey.
The only chapter he would like would be the plants chapter, which I was like...
Exactly.
I blew over that chapter. I was like, he lost me at plants. I was on board until plants, and then the plants chapter, I was like, I'm done. And then after the plants chapter, I sped him up to 2.5 because I audiobooked it. So
all he did was talk. He talked a lot.
Well, it's an audiobook, so
I guess that's part of it. Okay, so he went into holistics after he got this fancy new stepmom.
Yes, and she actually, I think, is the reason behind he created a supplement called, are you ready for this? Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain.
Yeah, it's a supplement, I think it's a male supplement for men, and I think his mom was behind that. The stepmom. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's it. I couldn't find more information. I found a lot of hate on the internet, saying he's a trust fund baby. That his stepmom created this alpha brain, which is bullshit. Like that's how he made his money. I'm going to take everything. We're all humans having a human experience. It's his experience. I'm open. I don't think I'd want to be friends with the guy, but.
I had to say, whenever there's a trust fund baby, and we're just putting that out there, we don't know if his dad gave him any money, do we?
I don't know. There's
we
no
don't know.
Wikipedia,
okay.
So.
But whenever I see a trust fund baby or somebody coming from, any kind of affluence, I'm always happy when they do something for themselves. And he's definitely made a mark for himself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think in my research, the most interesting thing I did find about him was he wrote an article himself, because most of the information about him is by him. And he wrote an article in 2019 called
I like that.
Yeah, 5 Uncomfortable Truths About Me. So he decided just to tell 5 uncomfortable truths, and I really liked that. And
I like that too.
Yeah, one of the truths was, sometimes I'm afraid that I'm going to go insane like my father. So that got me interested, but then I couldn't find anything about, what's going on, and I'm sure I'm going to have to just do a little more digging. But I just didn't have the patience to go through all of his podcasts and everything.
Is that irrational, or not irrational? The fear is very, but I mean, that's valid. I don't know any of us who aren't terrified to become some side of both of our parents.
Yeah, I think, I mean, sometimes when Maciek wants to compliment me, he'll say, you're just like your mom, and I'm, you know, or, oh, I see your dad in you, you know, like it's something negative, right?
That's rarely a compliment when it comes from someone you're sleeping with. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're like your mother. Like, you don't want to say. I have heard that several times, and only when it comes to looks is it a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like any action that's like my parents is no good.
Yeah. So,
which I think is weird.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, weird. Like, I'm wondering, I always want to know more, you know, and I think that's what was missing for me a little bit in the book. It was sort of surface,
did he have siblings?
Like, I don't know. I couldn't find any information, you know. It was like, I'm sure if I did digging for like a few weeks, I could find some information, but I'm not a detective.
Well, he has a podcast. Maybe if we listened to his podcast, we would know, you know, a little bit more.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So, you know, but I did appreciate this article that he wrote, The 5 Uncomfortable Truths. You know, he's afraid he's going to go insane like his father. He talks about gratitude, how he doesn't feel like he's not grateful often because he's afraid if he's grateful for something, he'll lose it or he doesn't deserve it. He's scared he's going to get sick. He's scared that he has a fear of not being good enough. So he really opened up in this article, and I was like, wow, I wish more of that was in the book. Because for me, the book, and we'll get to this later, we're going to go through the book in a second, but there wasn't enough personal stories of his vulnerability. It was all, well, that's what I do, and this is what I do, and this is how great I am. This is how I start my morning, and, you know, and I was like, he did
have some major vulnerability in the sex part.
Yeah.
That I remember. But, yeah, there was, I felt, I've had many mid-level managers that feel like they wrote this book. You know, it's very like, me, I am the greatest thing. This is the greatest thing. But on the other hand, he backed it all up with science. Every time he'd say something, he would say some sort of like study or something like that, which didn't give himself credit for everything, which I liked that. Like, he didn't give himself credit for everything.
Can I challenge you on one thing though? I'm always wary of the books that back up with science because I always think that you can find science to back up your own theories. Like, I think that, what is that called, cherry picking, where I can always find data to back up what I'm trying to sell. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think
I hear that, but I would much rather have someone back it up with some sort of Harvard study that included 350,000 people, and there was this from that, rather than, you should do it because I think it's the best thing. And look at me, and if you want to be just like me, do it like that. Which, you know, so I kind of like, I mean, I like a good combination of science and spirituality in a book.
Yeah.
You know, so I liked that. That was the thing I liked about it when I had read it 2 weeks before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I did like that he did back up everything with some type of science and some type of article and some type of study. So it wasn't him just making stuff up, like you said. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You can find, just like you can find a Bible quote for absolutely anything you want to do that can serve you.
Or a horoscope reading.
With science. Oh, God. Well, I mean, I blame myself. I'll be like, you know, blame anything and everything on being a Gemini, for sure. Like,
yeah, I'm such a different
people. Well, half the time I'm a nice person, half the time I'm a cunt. I don't know what to say. I'm twins. But yeah, so I definitely would not. The first time I read it, I was like, yeah, I love this guy's passion, his energy. And then like the second time I read it with ears for the podcast, I was like, ooh, like I don't want like some people to hear some of this stuff. Like there is some major like good old boy, just fucking do it, I
Do it. Fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. Just no do it. I'm like, okay.
The way the book is set up is I love the way it's set up because it tackles one day, and that's his whole premise. If you optimize one day, you can optimize your life. So he basically goes through a typical day from waking until sleeping, and then gives you tips on how to optimize all these different areas. So he goes through waking, working, learning, eating, training, playing, sex, sleep. And that's how we're going to go through it. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So let's start with waking.
well, let's talk about just owning the importance of like doing it one day at a time. I mean, you live in the world of one day at a time, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a big recovery thing. So it's just worrying about, not staying sober for the rest of my life because that's a big ask.
It's just a little mucho.
It's just for today. And, it's just about waking up and doing the things I need to do just for today, just to stay sober, to live happy, right? So it's really about the 24 hours. And that just makes it...
And I like this because I can kind of parlay it into staying sober means staying healthy for you on all aspects.
Yeah.
So this is, like, owning the day is staying healthy for one day at a time, which I like to bring into whether or not you're recovering, whether or not whatever you're trying to do. If you just every day do that one day and make that right, then it parlays into owning your entire life, which is part of the, So I like that end of it. And I think that anytime I've ever been happy is when I am owning from morning till bedtime.
Yeah.
With a plan.
Exactly. Because why do all these and he mentions this, these self-help books fail because they give you a plan for your whole friggin' life. And it's overwhelming. Yes. It's overwhelming. It's just like me when my first day of recovery, my first day sober, I was overwhelmed by the mess I had created. It was a gigantic mess. I mean, I was in debt. Right. My relationship had failed. I was just overwhelmed. And I was like, how am I going to how am I going to do this? And then, it was just like, okay, just focus on getting to the end of the day and doing whatever you need to do to get to the end of the day. Right. And I love that. So I really liked that part of it.
I really like that part too. And I will say, like, he may not be on our short list for like next guys we're going to date, but like he did have a lot of positive things to do.
Yeah.
Like
I am grateful.
Behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah.
So let's go into waking. What was your typical morning like before?
Well, I would wake up and I usually go and meditate for like 5 minutes, have a cup of coffee, and meditate with my cup of coffee.
I love it.
Yeah. How about you? What's your mornings?
Well, I wake up and if I choose to work out, I work out and then it's hauling ass to get everything going for the day, like getting Scarlett's school schedule ready, mapping out what I'm going to do typically. But I mean, it's kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
Always since I've been feeding her nutrition, our nutrition has been on point for the most part, but like not mindful in the least. Like I had rules that no sugar for breakfast, no this, that, and the other thing. but like, what kind of morning person are you? Like,
I'm a morning person. I like mornings.
Me too.
I like getting up early.
too.
I like the silence of the morning.
Me too.
I am a morning person. I can get up actually and get started right away. So he did mention like a lot of people hit snooze a million times. I can't do that.
No.
Like once I'm awake, I don't hit the snooze. I just get up. You know, that's my thing.
I can hop out of bed. It blows my mind. These people that walk around like zombies for like 10 minutes. I can hop out of bed and I'm ready for anything. Like, I think it's because like some people's brains shrink like a lot when they're sleeping. Mine isn't like that big, so it's fine. It just goes nothing, zero movement. But yeah, I hit the ground running, and it pisses me off when people don't.
Yeah. So what he talked about in waking is to hydrate with water and a little bit of salt for the minerals because our body's depleted of minerals.
Yes,
I didn't realize that, and because I do drink water in the morning sometimes, but usually it's like coffee first thing, and so that's one thing I did take from this book is to drink a glass of water with a little bit of sea salt to replenish the minerals, a little bit of lemon.
Yep.
And I actually felt really wonderful. And I was super grateful.
It really does make a huge difference. I think that is one of those things that I'm going to live on forever, like doing. And I've been putting that fulvic in my water, which is like minerals from the soil.
You've been putting dirt in your water?
Yeah, it's a supplement, but like
it's mud.
It's mud. It's stuff that's really filtered out in your water if you have regular water. But I also buy mineral water from like some magical place in Italy. It's whatever Whole Foods sells.
It's Italian tap water. Okay?
Yeah. It's not from Italy either. It's from like the south side.
It's from like Little Italy in Chicago. From like a tap. Like, these Americans are so stupid. And I just like...
Vinny is serving it up.
Forget about it. This tap water is the fucking best. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Fucking minerals. You want to talk about minerals?
Yeah, suck my mineral, right?
So that's that.
Okay, so water is good in the morning. Water is very good in the morning. Everybody should drink it.
I love how it takes a whole chapter to explain.
I can't believe how fucking long water was spoken about.
Yeah, a long time. So, bottom line for our listeners, just drink a glass of water with a little bit of sea salt because of the minerals.
Himalayan is best.
Himalayan is best for women.
It has iron. Yeah, for women.
And then,
if you aren't a woman, you should want to be a woman.
Right. So just drink that. Drink it. The first thing, hydrate. And then he said to go out into the sun to get some of the blue light, which is light from the sun. So step out on your patio. If you don't have a patio, step, down your, whatever you got. Try to get into fresh air.
Get outside. He talked a long time about it. And apparently everybody's vitamin D deficient.
Right.
It's a fact, Jack. So get out there. But then he went on and on and on and on and on and on.
Right. So water, go outside, and then move. He said to do a little bit of movement in the morning. So
he didn't say do a little bit of movement. He said to do naked jujutsu with your partner.
Which is gross. I'm sorry, it's gross. I'm sorry, Aubrey. It's freaking gross.
I've had 0 naked jujitsu sessions since we started reading this book, and I've had 0 balls in my face.
I've had balls in my face, but not because of naked jujitsu. So there.
Yeah.
And I didn't move.
I am going to say I have nothing against jujutsu. And I have nothing against being naked. But I don't want to be on the bottom end of a move in the morning when I first wake up.
No. I'm sorry, if somebody tried to wrestle me in the morning, I'd be fucking annoyed. Like, don't touch me.
God,
I need
seriously.
My salt water, and I need outside, so stop.
I'm going outside with my salt water, and you can move out while I'm out there.
When I return, I don't want your jujutsu ass and your balls anywhere in this apartment.
No, you can leave now. Like, you are excused.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Anything else from waking that you took?
I did, I have been trying to be more playful in the morning and like laughing in the morning more and just kind of messing around. Especially with like Scarlett. Like, it's fun to laugh in the morning and get off on the right foot.
Yeah.
You know? No. He did say in that chapter, character and resolve are two traits that rarely get tested in modern society, so they tend to atrophy. And I thought character and resolve are things that we really don't celebrate very much. Like, as a society, like, your character fucking matters, people.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe how many people just don't mind being shitty people.
Yeah.
And have, like, they don't see what they do really affects others and affects themselves.
That's interesting. I think you would have a really hard time being in Poland for like a longer period of time because we talked about that. I had a business training earlier this week, and this woman talked about how in America, like Americans, when they communicate via email, they'll always send like a "How are you?" smiley face. You know, you doing good? And in Poland, it's just the communication. I need this report. Period. Send. And yeah, in general, there's less of the how is this person going to receive this? You know.
Well, I've had a immensely hard time existing in Naples, Florida. I mean, it's super affluent. I mean, in my neighborhood, it's ridiculous. But I mean, and I grew up super poor, and like really poor, not like, you know, on the wrong side of the road kind of poor, like really poor.
You didn't have a trust fund?
I didn't have a trust fund, not even one.
Oh.
And my mom didn't play tennis.
She didn't?
It was such a bummer.
Oh. Didn't you have a naturopath aunt or something? No.
No. My mom explored witchery for a while. Wicca. Wiki. No, but so people here are very disconnected from their actions, very disconnected from, I mean, it truly is 1,000% for a lot of the people here, not all, but they're very self-serving. And I think that is not pointed out and rejected enough in our society. And I think that character does matter.
Yeah.
You know? So I loved that line from him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I just hit my mic. Sorry.
Sorry to our listeners who just heard it like,
Doink. That was me. What about the power shower?
Remind me what the cold shower.
I've been doing it.
Oh, God, you're so brave. See, I think you're more badass than me. Like, I think you are leather and I'm lace because I cannot do it. I've tried. I've taken cold showers because I have taken them because something broke. And I had been forced to take cold showers, but I'm not brave enough yet. I've taken cool showers. Does that count?
Cool shower. I mean, like if you're sunburned or something to cool your skin.
No, I mean, this morning I went from scalding to like, to lukewarm, and I'm like, is this enough? I don't think
yeah, it counts, right? It counts.
Yeah. So
well, the
how have
power
you been
shower
feeling?
is you shower normally and shave everything and get whatever you need done in the shower. Then
Cleaned.
you turn it cold. Yep. Then you turn it cold you try for 3 minutes while you're Wim Hof breathing. And Wim Hof breathing is the 30 to 40 fast breaths. And then you do the breath where you hold in and then you hold it as long as you can, release it, and then hold another one in, and I believe, and release it. And you can find more on the Wim Hof breathing at www.wim, W-I-M, Hof, H-O-F, method, method.com. And it is so interesting because it's all about being in the cold and your breathing technique. And it like sets off all these hormones in your body that are so positive. And I felt exhilarated. And Scarlett and I are going to start getting, like, once a week, we're going to go get 4 bags of ice, and we're going to do an ice bath.
Okay, you've inspired me to do it. I'm going to try to do
Really?
it. Plus, like, Wim Hof, it's super huge in Poland, because I think his wife was Polish or something. And so he has ties to Poland. So there's a lot of Wim Hof instructors here.
Okay, so I learned the most interesting thing. So I went to try that cryotherapy, which he speaks about in the book, like, extensively. Okay, he speaks about everything extensively in this book.
Primarily himself.
Yes, he talks a lot about he and everything else. So he mentioned cryotherapy, which I almost did it yesterday, but I couldn't find the just price for one. There was only monthly subscriptions. So I was like, I didn't want to deal with it. I might go back and like talk to him and figure it out. But I learned that it is covered under the national health insurance in Poland. It was brought here 30 years ago from Poland. But it's been covered in Poland, the cryogenic therapy, under the national health program for 30 years.
And you know what I love about that? That I live in Poland and didn't know that. And that
I'm your Polish
living
guide.
Like you're teaching me Polish health history from Florida. And I'm in Poland like,
huh?
Okay.
What? I now, which means you have to do it.
Okay, like, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it
Yeah, we're both doing it. If you do it, I'll do it, and I'll pay out of pocket for it for sure. I don't care. I want to try it, and then once a week, Scarlett wants to do ice baths.
Okay. Well, that's done.
Yeah. Okay, we fixed that. We're
Check.
cryogenic therapy users.
So waking up, drink water, go outside, move a little bit, and take a cold shower. And, really important for me, if you do drink coffee, put some kind of fat in it. So it...
I did. I have olive oil in mine right now.
That's crazy.
It's so yummy. It's so good. You're going to love it. Yes.
I think I'm doing more of the coconut oil kind of girl, but there's a fat mixture at this coffee house right down the street. You could buy jars of it, and it has like different herbs and stuff to make your coffee yummy. So I think I'm going to buy that. And I'll let you know. Maybe maybe they can be a sponsor because we don't have any sponsors yet. But there's people that we have sponsors.
Jason, Yana.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Studios is our sponsor.
3B's World.
3B's, the Stella Project, all of our sponsors.
These are all our companies.
Yeah, we own all these companies. We're amazing. We do a lot. We're very cool. So I actually had that written down that I wanted to try. Fat with caffeine slows its consumption. I've always used half and half, but have started putting olive oil, coconut oil, butter, and a shake of cinnamon in my coffee since we've been doing this. But I want to try that cacao butter, and I would love to try emulsified MCT oil, which helps with weight management.
Okay.
Did you read that?
I read it. It kind of went, you know.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah, I want to try that. But I love the oil in the coffee, though. It really does make it better.
Okay. Cool. So moving on from waking up and...
Is everybody woke? I'm hoping everyone's woke at this point. Like,
I know I'm woke.
Yeah. There were so many, like, fucking bumper stickers in this book.
I know. The only reason I would think of for the naked jujutsu is if you were attacked by a naked guy wanting to do naked jujutsu and balls in your... That would wake you up super fast. Like, you wouldn't even need a coffee. Your rage...
Yeah, you could skip that coffee.
Rage from balls in your face would just be enough.
Oh, my God. It would. Yeah, nothing will wake you up like a set of balls in your face.
Especially if they're foreign balls. Like,
foreign balls, like, if you could get it, like, one of your girlfriend's husbands to come do it...
I got a big ask, Sally. Sally, I got a big ask.
Like, I know we're all on this journey together and whatnot, but could you have Sal come over here and, like, naked wrestle me?
But, like, make sure I have to be
I'm
sleeping.
trying to give up coffee.
I need to change my morning ritual.
And could you have him do it for, like, 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to...
Form new habits. All right. So the next...
Okay, so eating. Let's talk about eating.
Cool. Yes.
Okay, I love that every time, and it's not that this is breaking news, but I knew everything from this book, especially that breakfast is not the most important meal.
That was something that I learned from this book. So I was like jumping up and down because I'll tell you a little bit of a part of my life. My Machek, my partner, my future husband, gets angry with me when I don't have breakfast. So when I heard that breakfast is not the most important meal, I was like, yay! He said breakfast is not mandatory and you might be better off without it altogether. I was so
intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I mean, that is... I could have told you this back 100 years ago. This along with when they tried to talk you out of eating butter. I knew butter was good for the body.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, like, just keeps circling back. I haven't changed a thing. And I'm, like, look at me. I'm the epitome of health. But this is one of the things I knew. Because, it's like, eating breakfast makes me feel like shit. Unless I've done a big workout. And then I'm starving. But, like, if I have to force myself to eat when I'm not hungry, like, it can't be right.
Yeah. That's what I took out of that.
Yeah, I did too. Like that whole, I wrote down, the whole book made me feel like I was constantly on a team building retreat for a Fortune 500 corporation in the early 2000s with the constant analogies and forced F-bombs. I hate forced F-bombs.
Yeah, they have to be natural, don't they?
Well, you remember, like, didn't you ever have one of those managers that wanted to, like, seem cool?
And he always swore, yeah.
Yeah, like, he would, like fit in an F-bomb where, like, it didn't belong.
Yeah.
It's like an 18-year-old when she first gets to start cussing, like, around her family. And she wants to, like, take advantage of it, but she's, like a new deer trying to walk right out of the womb. I felt like that in this whole book.
Yeah.
Especially this chapter.
Yeah, I noticed that too. What was I pleasantly surprised by in this chapter about, eating was potato salad is actually better for you than hot potatoes, which I love potato salad. And I always thought it was like super unhealthy. And he taught me about something called retrograde starch, which means heating and then cooling potatoes helps them lose some of their starchiness or whatever makes them unhealthy. So the cooled potatoes, after they're heated, are actually healthier than the hot potatoes. I was super excited because I love potato salad.
Well, I think that's what the hot potato game was trying to warn us about.
Throw it away! Throw it away!
Throw it away! No, I want the cold potato!
Throw some potato salad! Just
put that in a salad and I will take it.
Cool it down, cool it down.
Okay,
so I learned that.
So, potato salad, okay.
I also learned, and I did not know this earlier, to fry, when you're going to fry something, fry it with avocado oil because it has the highest smoke point, meaning
yes,
it can withstand like the higher temperatures without losing its nutritional value, which is fantastic because I did read somewhere a long time ago that if you fry with olive oil, it's not super healthy. Like olive oil is not supposed to be for frying, but I'm like, well, what the hell do I fry with then? So avocado
butter
oil
has a higher heat, what do they call it? Like it's a heat level, and butter's higher, coconut oil is higher.
Yeah.
But avocado is the highest.
Yeah, super excited about that. So I found out that
he said you can eat bacon.
Yeah, he said to substitute, if you're going to eat in the mornings, to substitute fat for sugar. So cut out the sugar, put the fat in.
I've always, I mean, sugar is the fucking devil. If people don't understand that at this point.
Yeah.
I mean.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. What fucking rock are you laying under where you wake up and eat some Fruit Loops for fucking breakfast?
This is, he did talk about this. He talked about how it's, the American breakfast, like all these high sugar cereals, those weren't around. Do you know what a Polish breakfast is? Sandwiches. Sandwiches. That's what Polish people make for breakfast, or scrambled eggs. There was the whole having something.
He brought me back to eggs in this book.
Yeah.
He brought me back to eggs.
Yeah.
Which I've been kind of off eggs.
Yeah. But Poles generally don't eat sweet things for breakfast. That's like a weird. So I remember when I was little, it was like I was different than all the other kids because they would have pancakes. We never had a pancake. It was like,
okay, if there's anybody I want to go back in time and like sit in a closet in their house and peer out, it's you. It's like I picture this house full of very little joy. Like, you never had a pancake? My dad would make me silver dollar pancakes. And like he would make them, and then he would get like creative and make a dime pancake, a quarter pancake, one that was the size of a silver dollar. I mean, he did it all every time we were at his house because he would live 4 hours away when we were kids.
Okay.
And he would always make daddy's silver dollar pancakes.
We never had that. So I don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking in a different language. Our house was full of joy, but it was like Eastern European joy, which is my brother and I used to say the Polish smile is a frown. So there you go.
Well, and I know that Irish people are known for like being too smiley. It's annoying. I can feel myself out doing it too. I'm just walking around like fucking spreading joy like it's nobody's business. Making eye contact with people. They're like, ugh. It's got to be so annoying.
So what did you, because you're like, you already knew all this stuff. Did anything in this book surprise you?
I knew a lot of it. I did not know that coconut yogurt was so good, and the company New Earth and Coconut Cult make it. They didn't have that at Whole Foods yesterday, so I got a different brand, but I'm excited to try that. I love that he gives, I did not know about krill oil over fish oil.
Mm-hmm. That he talked about, he mentioned that's, why was it better?
Because it takes less to do what it needs to do, which I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And in the power plant section, did you hear that we can start doing Coke again? Did you hear him in that? Because it's
to tell you the truth,
only if it's in leaf form, which I then, immaturely pictured myself doing a line of leaves. Like a leaf
why am I picturing
a
tree branch just growing?
Why am I? So am I. So
yeah.
I was like, and I I don't think I can get a lot of Coke up my nose if it's in leaf form.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Okay, here's why I'm going to pause now and talk about, there's something, I'm from the addict world, right? The recovered addict world. So I'm just wondering, I'm like, is he an addict? He admitted he was an addict. And I know that I don't know, I just thought he was playing with fire a little bit with that chapter. But that's fine. If it works for you, go for it, buddy. But I was annoyed because I don't know. I'm an addict, so I'm like, I just skipped over I started.
Well, it's playing with fire. It's playing with fire for you, right?
Yeah. So.
For me, I mean, I'm not a recovering addict, but I guess I don't know. I think I would maybe try it. I don't know. It seemed weird. I'm all for caffeine and its benefits.
Yeah.
I do ashwagandha. I do matcha. There are so many power plants that I think are amazing. But, I found it really weird that he would play with that. And also the ayahuasca thing. I have several friends that have done it many times with great success. However, I would be super careful about just recommending it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The friends that I know that have had mind-opening experience, they don't even recommend it to each other, to anybody else. They're like, I had this experience. It's personal. You have to I just find it really and I think he did say there that plants are a personal decision.
Yeah. So I made the personal decision to not listen to that chapter.
Yeah,
no, I listened to it. I listened to it at a 2.8, so it was like a chipmunk.
As a recovering addict, you don't need anybody telling you you can do that. You don't need anybody telling you can do Coke.
Yeah. Thanks.
No.
Thanks, bro. I think from eating, the biggest thing I'm going to take away is he said to experiment and just add something new every week or every day, a new food that you have never tried. I'm going to make that a mission. I'm going to
I love that.
I'm going to go to the grocery store and be like, I have never tried this. I'm going to try it this week. Because he did say that variety is sort of helps your gut bacteria and digestion and everything else. So I am going to try that. And then I did not realize that oysters were so healthy. I didn't know they had so many minerals. I didn't know they had so many vitamins. So yay! They're
so delicious. And I didn't like them for years. And then something happened in the last couple of years. And it's I love them so much that it's just, Scarlett won't eat them.
Yeah. Well,
she won't. But we eat them at least once a month. We try to.
She's a kid. And when I was a kid, do you know what was the equivalent of oysters in Poland? It was pickled herring.
Oh God, my dad will eat that.
That's a Polish thing. I can't eat it to this day.
A Polish girl once. I have a half Polish sister out there that I don't know about.
What if it's me?
Oh my God! That would be so amazing.
That would be.
Our holidays just got way better.
So yeah, pickled herring, but I still can't eat it. It's a childhood trauma because it was every holiday. It's a staple of Polish holidays. So I was traumatized because in Poland, you have to try Christmas Eve dinner. You have to try one of everything, and I was always like,
oh God,
and I had to,
there's no way. My dad used to also put sardines, which are very healthy, on a cracker and just eat them.
Yeah, we had that in our family too. So
he's definitely slept with somebody in your family. I can guarantee it.
I'm gonna do it in
those doe eyes. Oh God. Oh yeah.
So let's move on to working, which he talked about working a lot, and I laughed so hard because I don't know if our listeners know, but one of our quotes that we sort of live by is, if a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing badly. And that's a quote by G.K. Chesterton. And he started his work spiel off with, whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Which is the complete opposite. And that was said by...
Well, I mean, you don't have to be a psychoanalyst to understand that this motherfucker is plagued with perfection.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him the whole fucking time because it was like me at 23 with unlimited income.
Yeah.
It just felt so tiring.
Yeah. And that's, whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. And then, but I'm thinking, I like if a thing's worth doing at all, it's worth doing badly. Like, as long as you like doing it. I
prefer that. Yeah, I prefer that for sure because it really does. Like, if you're willing to do something, be willing to do it badly.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be that good that you're willing to suck at it.
Yeah.
But I do think he's and we see it, I see it. I have a couple of people in my life that they're children. If you're a loser, if you don't win out on your sport, you're fucked. You're a loser. We're winners here, and unfortunately, the reality is we're all losers who sometimes win. But if you get out in the world and think you're not going to lose, you are going to be a ball of bullshit for your entire life. You're going to be down in somebody's basement on your computer, trying to find people who tell you that you're perfect all the time. And it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And, I think that this guy, of course, I've been listening and learning in my car since I started driving. Take the time to optimize all of your time if you can. I did like a couple of things in there that he had a napping section.
Yeah, that was good.
Are you a nap person?
Sporadically. I wouldn't say I right. I'm not a nap every day person. I'm just not.
Yeah.
But I do occasionally take a nap if I have the space for it. I'm just not. So I think you and I are both at the age where we're no longer working the way he's talking about. The way he presented work, just to our listeners who haven't read the book, it's like you get in your car in the morning, you drive an hour, half hour to work, you get into an office, you work 9 to 5, and you come back and you hurry home, and that's your day. That's not my day.
That's not my day. And that's not Jason, my husband's day. We don't work like that.
Right. And I think a lot of people
work longer.
Yeah.
But it's under our terms. We do exactly what we want to do. I haven't not done what I wanted to do since I was 30.
Yeah. I think what again, the audience he's speaking to is, I think, in the corporate world or in some kind of office world. But there's so many people who, blue collar, construction guys, they're not going to be, I suppose they're not, he is very good at marketing. This Aubrey Marcus guy, he has his target audience, which is dudes like him, younger, Yeah. So I like to
call them gym rats.
Yeah. But I couldn't relate to any of what he was saying, except he did have one quote.
Okay, I hope it's the same one that I liked.
Okay, I'm going to pull it out right now. Humans are happiest when they are working towards something, when they have a sense of purpose. And I think that's true. I have been the happiest I have ever been working on this podcast.
Me too.
However,
100%.
Yeah. However, what I didn't agree with is, what if you're just working a shit job? And I think he was saying in a way like, you got to find your purpose. You got to find your purpose. But for me, in my whole work experience, I have worked jobs where I didn't enjoy the job, but I would wake up and say, how can I be of service today? How can I help these people at this job today? So it wasn't always all about me. Like sometimes you're at a job so you can help other people or be there. And rather than drilling this idea in your head, because, you know, I need to get out of here, this job sucks. Living every day like, okay, I'm in this job today. I am going to be looking out for maybe something that I would want to really do. But while I'm here, I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to be trying to be of service as much as possible. And I like that approach.
Well, and I think that like this is a particular personality type that he's going to. Yeah. But I would have loved to hear, you know, going to work and being full of joy and being in that moment is more important than fucking killing it, you know, at whatever you're doing. And Jesus Christ. One of the best things that I heard is I love the idea of saying no.
Yes, I wrote that down too. Learn to say no. That was what I took from it.
Yes, I love the idea of saying no because that is a word I'm absolutely terrified to say.
Yeah.
Which has led to some really awkward sexual experiences, just to say. You're welcome, everybody.
Jujutsu balls in face.
Yes, I've learned to say no to that. Which is why I end up empty and horribly exhausted. I'm really going to try to say no a lot more.
Yeah, I wrote that down. Yeah, as well.
I love saying yes to people.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. I love being able to do things that other people need help with.
Yeah.
And I forgot to tell you, in the morning, you're supposed to get moving. And I bought one of those mini trampolines, the rebounder, he suggested. So, and I once saw Goldie Hawn doing it on Instagram, and so it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. All right. Well, let me know how it goes. I don't even know if I can buy one of those things here.
I will let you know through video how it's going.
That can be like exclusive content.
Yes, it can.
Oh, which brings me to we're going to pause right here to talk about our Patreon account, which is an account that supports artists and people doing creative things, which we hope this podcast is. And if you want to hear more from us, please log on to Patreon, and our Patreon account is We Need Help Podcast. So please log on there and do support us.
And thank you in advance for that. We need support.
We need support. So yeah, you can donate as much as $1 a month.
And if you don't do it, you're a fucking loser.
You're a tool.
You're a fucking tool, dude.
All right, moving on. Okay, so we started talking about exercise a little bit, getting moving on to training. I love, because Lizzy sent me a list of questions before this podcast. What did you know about the kettlebell before this book? You went
on and on about this kettlebell? Okay. I don't claim to be a kind or nice person outwardly. So these next few minutes might prove that to be false. So I am annoyed by any kettlebelling. I don't like crossfitting. I don't like tire flipping. I am like the whole thing is weird.
Yeah,
and how do you feel about the kettlebell?
Kettlebell. To tell you the truth, I'm gonna be real right now. I had a trainer like a few months ago, and that was his primary thing. Kettlebells.
I feel like that trainer and this Aubrey might have been on a Survivor Island retreat together. probably with Tony Robbins.
Don't even get me started with Tony. Oh, don't even get me started. Anyway, that's for a whole other
T-word.
Sorry, Tony.
The T-word. Okay.
You're gross. So, so he went on this whole I like when he talked about calisthenics, using your own body weight to exercise. I can get on, because I hate working out. I hate working out. I don't like it. I know you like it. I don't like it. But I like
looking good.
I like looking good. And here's what I just absolutely did not agree with. What he said. He said, do not berate yourself into working out. Do not, use your negative body image to work out. How else am I going to get motivated to work out? Right?
Oh I wrote down the same thing. I don't know where I wrote it down. But
he said to not use negativity to motivate yourself to work out. That's the only thing I use. Otherwise I would never get into the gym. Berating myself I totally disagree with that.
The reason I work out more, I had to take it off my looks because I didn't want to become obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because we all know I'm the vainest motherfucker in all the land. So I had to do it my mood was better, so I didn't yell at my family, which is also still, I'm doing it not to be a cunt.
Yeah.
So is that berating? Is that a threat? Am I threatening myself?
Am I threatening me? Am I threatening me?
Am I threatening me? Am I? I think I am. I'm afraid that if I don't get those endorphins that I might be grumpy.
That's fear. Fear-based, which is, that's definitely a negative motivator. But I wouldn't get up to the gym if it was a positive, yay! I want to be fit. No, I want to not be.
First of all,
yeah.
I do not like people who go to the gym. I mean, I like Jason. He goes to the gym.
Right.
But the gym rats. I don't want to go spend a couple hours at the gym.
I don't like people looking at me.
I don't like people looking at me either.
So
during that hot, sweaty, and when I work out. I do not. I'm in and out in less than 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which means I'm sweating, I'm shaking, I'm not looking good. I'm not looking my best.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. I do like the way he structures everything. It's a very nice structure, and there's a PDF with the audiobook that you can look at all the exercises, and I would take some of the exercises. I like that he talked about yoga, because I've wanted to do yoga for a while.
I like that he talked about yoga.
Yeah.
Not to keep going back to the napping, because I did nap. But did you read anything about the binaural beats?
Yeah. Can you explain those to me?
Okay, you listen to particular tones in each ear, and it induces your relaxation. And I think that could help a lot of people who struggle in that category.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
He said if you take anything from that section of the book, that would be it. And I am going to try it too, just out of pure curiosity.
Yeah, so, to our listeners, binaural beats. Yeah, it's some kind of sleep-inducing music. Yeah, you put on your AirPods, and it puts different tones in each ear, and, you can relax a little better. And I think on his website, he has some free ones. Yeah, he did say, because you have to, I think, pay for the beats, but on his website he has free ones, so yeah.
Yeah, but he said yoga, the own the day workout, which when he started explaining it, it sounded like Jason explaining our budget to me.
Yeah.
I went into a deer in the headlights, I was like, oh, easy. Let's not anybody do anything rash. I was like, this sounds like, it went into he used a lot of Hemi engine references and your body being a vehicle. And I got lost. I was done. I was like, I think maybe I'm more like a Mini Cooper, or maybe an Austin Healey. I'm not a Hemi engine at all. I'm kind of fickle. probably shouldn't drive me in the cold or too hot. Like, yeah.
So what else is there?
So, that's about it. That's what I got. I do think that moving every day is really important.
Yeah.
Even if it's just doing something that you want. Like, do you like to go on trail walks? Do you like to ride your bike? That's a negative. That's a no.
Here's the deal. Here's my deal. You get the bike out for me, prepare it. I will get on it and I will ride it. I don't like all the preparation that comes with sports. I don't like friggin' skiing because you have to put all this stuff on. I don't like the I like swimming because you jump in the water. I like walking because you just walk. I don't like preparation. I don't like checking to see if the spokes are oiled or if the seat is at the right level or if the wheels are pumped. I don't like it. So
it's a lot, yes.
If you have something ready for me, I will be more than happy to. And I like exploring on the bicycle. Like I wish you were with me at this time. I did Berlin on a bicycle with a group of friends, and it was joy. It was pure joy. It was just like going to different neighborhoods in Berlin, and it was so much fun. I will not ride up a mountain. That. Riding up a mountain is my version of hell. I don't like riding uphill. If you give me a motor on my bike.
Well, I don't like mountain bikes at all. I don't like them. I think they look ugly. However, a beach cruiser with a basket where I can go to the market and get my food.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
I love that. I love riding it to the beach, walking the beach. I want to look very romantic on it. You should see my beach cruiser. That can be for our exclusive listeners as well. But stores like Erewhon or whatever the fuck that place is, am I saying that right?
I don't know. He kept mentioning it, and I live in Poland. We don't even have a Whole Foods. So,
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it's probably like if you like camping with a backpack, walking for miles on end, we're out there where you'd have to be helicoptered in. Why would you do that? One.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of like a really quaint little cottage that you drive to and get in. And if you get snowed in there, you have everything you need, hot chocolate, the whole nine, like cuddled in. I can get on board with that, but like mountain climbing, you would never find me on the side of a frickin' mountain with those things that you hook on the sides of the mountain.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I know.
No. I prefer to take my life in my hands, like behind the wheel.
Yeah. I like bike riding and walking when it's like exploratory. Like, let's walk and see this beautiful thing, or, I don't like doing it just to reach the peak. I'm not a dude like that. I don't want to conquer Everest. I don't want to conquer anything.
I don't want to be in any marathon, honestly. Like, I get it. I'm proud of my friends that do it. Like, I have this friend, Kelly Joy. She is amazing. She just runs and runs and runs. And she's just like, the way she speaks about it is it's like, it's her, it's her kind place to herself. Like, she just gets out there and I can get it. I just don't think it's for me. Like, I just would never.
Yeah.
I just don't think of myself doing it. It's just, it seems like, what the fuck would you do that for?
Yeah. I wish I had that. My dad has the running gene. Like, he loves running. And I didn't get that gene, unfortunately. I wouldn't even, like, when I was in active addiction, if I was doing something illegal, I wouldn't even run from the cops. I'd be like, just cuff me. Cuff me.
Yeah.
I can't bother to run.
Look at these big doe eyes. Feel sorry for me. Itchy, scratchy.
I just did the scratchy crack, big eyes scratch for our listeners.
Okay, what was...
Go for it.
You just reminded me of the line.
Go for it.
You have to say it.
What was that
referencing? the crack. You said not every day could be crack day.
Yes, about this book, because like optimizing your whole day, like that's what bothered me about this book. It's like not every day can be crack day. Like not every day is going to be crack day. Like, some days are just going to be
walk along this road and see beautiful things and eat lovely food and just relax and be with your people or be alone. And it's just like that to me is missing out of this book big time.
Yeah. For me, okay, wait, should we do the last?
Okay, we'll do sex. Let's do sex.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up.
We're putting it off like they're our partners or something. Okay, how comfortable are you talking about sex?
I'm not comfortable at all. I used to be super comfortable. I mean, I'm comfortable talking about it with you.
Right.
I'm comfortable talking about it in general, but like, I think this chapter, he made too big of a deal about sex. And I think it's just, why do we put so much pressure on sex? And there's this wonderful article that I read. It was about romantic realism, meaning we put too much expectation on sex. Right. Like it has to be this and talk and communicate.
I think he did say at the end of it that, it's ugly sometimes. Sex is ugly. Sex is messy. Sex is not perfect. Sex is not you. It's what you do. And I did appreciate that because sex can be, I'm pretty comfortable talking about it. My mom made it like a conversation in our home, which I think was like in the 80s and 90s, that was really not a thing. I remember thinking like my girlfriends were like, their parents were super strict because they didn't talk about honoring their bodies, pleasuring, like your bodies are for your own pleasure, this, that, and the other thing. I remember thinking that a lot of people didn't. So I feel like I have a leg up.
Wink, wink. Who wrote this stuff?
Department? But he explained it with no question that people are not having enough sex.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree. He seemed to think that the average couple having sex 1 or 2 times a week is not enough. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that's plenty. Whatever. I don't think there's a rule, and I think that's where we get in trouble, saying, you need to be having sex this much times. Like, why?
Yeah. I mean, I think that judging ourselves based on how much sex we're having is the first problem. Yeah. In that. I do think physically sex is great for our bodies. Like, I think it's hormone inducing. It's physically challenging. It's,
for some.
For some. Well, I mean, if it's not, like, you might want to, like, step up your game a little bit, which I've been like, okay, like, I've been there. I've had a lazy day or two. But, like, it is good for the body on so many levels. But, okay, in there was a Mr. Clean Super Bowl ad comment. Did you write it down?
No. Did you? What is it?
Oh, yes. Okay, so apparently on the Super Bowl, there was an ad for Mr. Clean. It was about him sweeping the panties off unsuspecting housewives, as Aubrey described it. And so you have to go look at it. It is. I mean, it's basically Mr. Clean being sexy to this woman, and she's all hot and bothered and turned on. But he said, sweeping the panties off unsuspecting housewives. In this ad, Number one, it didn't say she was a housewife. She was a woman. That's it. She wasn't a wife or worked outside.
So wait, is this an ad? Is this an ad that was remind me?
Played
is this an
at
ad
the
that
Super Bowl.
At the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah. So I went and looked at it, and it was like he described it as sweeping the panties off of unsuspecting housewives. And if you go to look at it, it's hilarious. But if you see her as a housewife, she could have had 6 jobs outside of the home, and you couldn't even tell if the couple were married.
Yeah.
So it was like him, like, you know, sweeping the panties off of the unsuspecting housewives. He said multiple, but there was only one in the particular one I saw. And it was like, okay, why would you even say housewives?
Yeah.
Why would you, you know what I mean? That it seemed very like good old boyish.
Yeah.
And I was fucking annoyed by it, honestly.
Yeah.
She was just a woman who was turned off by a man cleaning.
Yeah.
But in this part, he did humble the fuck out of himself by saying that he was an insecure lover. And I really appreciated that he did that because I think more, like all men don't have game every single time. And I think it's really important, and not all women do every single time. You know, I'm not saying we don't come every single time because we, of course, do not come every single time. Like, women just don't.
Yeah.
If you say you do, you're a liar. I'll put it out there. And I'm sure we're going to get 1,000. Oh, I come every time. Fuck you. You don't. You don't. And if you say you do, you don't actually come at all.
Yeah.
You've never come. There you go. You're welcome.
Bitch.
Keep trying.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact that he admitted he was vulnerable in this one part of the book. I just rolled my eyes there for.
She rolled her eyes big time.
Because it was missing for me, you know, the big doe eyes. You need vulnerability. You know, you need a sense of identification. Yeah. So, thank you, Aubrey, for being vulnerable at that part. But yeah, I
thrilled to her.
Yeah, it did. But I think the part that I just wrote down and that I will take away from it is we all just need to relax a little bit. He did say that, and I think that's true. It's like we put pressure on ourselves, others. Just chill.
And like it really is important to like have orgasms for your body. Like it does something to your body. He said, did you write down that he brought up asshole bleaching?
Oh yeah, I was so excited. He's like, that is ridiculous.
I was so excited. He was like, it's the one time we need to embrace being comfortable in our own skin. And I was thinking, our friendship, for those of you who don't know, our friendship was born on discussing bleaching assholes. So this is a huge deal.
That was like a signpost from the universe that like this is the direction we're supposed to be going. And he said,
I know the world is a magical place because of this.
That was the redeeming, you know what? And at that point, I'm like, I'm done. I'm finished with the book because it was just like, it brought it all back. It was the redeeming line in there.
Yeah. Well, and throughout this entire chapter, I literally became, I started off not turned on. And each word like pound town and bareback and sex machine and chubby and constant references to his hard-on in 12-year-old boy terms made me so less turned on than I was to begin with. Like he just would not fucking stop turning me off the entire time.
You'd be a much better lover if you just shut up. Shut up!
Do you think maybe you were referencing that and that's the reason that, like, nobody could come with you?
It's like, for this foreplay, I would like to read this chapter of my book, Sex.
Pound town, ew. Bareback, ew. Sex machine, ew. Chubby. Ew. I mean, honestly, I'm Irish and I couldn't have fucked anybody after this. I like, it's gonna be a minute before I can actually make it happen.
Yeah.
Just from reading that one chapter.
All right. Well, let's sum up a little bit.
Okay.
So what?
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah. Let's start with what we didn't get on board with, and then so we can finish on a positive note. What we're taking away from this. So what bothered you? What didn't you like?
Well, the name dropping is a major turnoff to me. I just have an affliction towards it. I have a couple of friends that do it constantly, and it's like a sign of insecurity, and it made my codependent hair stand on end because it was like, ugh. I just feel so gross after it happens in general in regular life. So it was just a constant barrage of name dropping, which I guess if it was just athletes and we were talking about training, that would align, but it seemed like every 5 seconds he was talking about some famous person. So that was tough. What about you?
A bunch of stuff. So I could have done, I know, I could have done with a little bit more real personal stories. Give me a not general personal stuff, but actual personal experience where you're vulnerable, right?
Do you think that maybe we crave that because we have had a lot of experience?
Yeah, I think so. But I think
okay,
everyone has, though. I think. I mean, I believe everyone has, and that's what being human is. And there wasn't enough of that for me. A lot of it was just, which is why I have this, and which is why I have this, and which is why I do aromatherapy, and which is why I have this toy, and which is why I do that. And I'm like, okay, I understand your life's great. I really, really do, and I'm very happy for you, Aubrey, and I really want to be like you. But tell me, for identification purposes, I'm not there yet. As his reader, I'm not where you're at.
Align with me. Yeah.
Align with me. And it's, when I'm working with addicts in recovery, the most important thing is I was where you are. I was there. I was, doing that stuff. I'm going to share a story with you, Yeah. And then the addict
I think that he tried. I think he tried with the Carl's Jr. burger and with the sex thing. And I did get, and this is the problem with just reading somebody's book and not knowing them, that there was very, very little depth.
Yes. It's a well-crafted book. It's a well-crafted book.
It is.
It's marketing-wise, great job, Aubrey.
Yes.
I need pain. I need examples of pain. Well, I need examples of what you're going through. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
I used to eat a really gross burger. Me too, but I need to be able to relate to your pain so I can relate to your coming out of the pain so I can relate to getting better, right? Because for me it seems unattainable as a little human here to get to where you are unless I know that you've been here. So that's what was missing for me.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that on a... Yeah, it just felt exhausting.
Yeah.
Because of that. I think because of that, I could have used a little bit, and I know I could do it myself, and I will, but a line by line of what that own the day looks like. I could have used at this time you do this, at this time you do this, at this time you do this, because it was really behavior based.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that at least, but yeah, I feel ya.
I would have liked to see his typical day and what fails, what works, what he struggles with. He wrote in this 5 Uncomfortable Truths about me, this article, that I'm going to read it. It says, I've been addicted to sleep medication for over a year. This article came out about the same time as his book. I've tried to get off and failed. Where was that in the book? Where was that? He did a whole chapter of sleep.
I would have loved.
Gosh, like, tell us your struggles.
Like, yeah.
And not like, oh my God, he's so perfect. You know, because that's what I felt. So that bothered me.
I mean, there was, his ego was writing a lot of this book.
I don't even know if it was him. Like, I think a lot of it was, I think he's got a great team. And I think he did get he probably got a lot of suggestions. I mean, it was a very well-crafted book. I don't know how much of it was him. I would love to have a conversation with him just to say how much of this book was like your voice and how much of this book was crafted. Because I feel like a lot of it was crafted. Yeah. And
yeah, I agree. It felt like definitely he had a ghostwriter. Or what do they call it? It's not a ghostwriter. It's when
a ghostwriter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ghostwriter.
It's a ghostwriter. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that too. I mean, just it was so good old boy for me. It felt like almost college, frat house. It had a frat house feel to me.
Well, he did mention his frat house.
I didn't pick it up.
Oh, it was in chapter.
I'm not shocked at all.
I forgot. I can't find the chapter. Let me find it. One of the chapters. Yep, chapter I think it was 11. I was a frat dog, Kappa Sig. That's what he said.
Oh yes, I did vomit. I did just do a burp. It wasn't just a full vomit at that point. I do remember that now. I held it down. Go Lizzy! Whoop whoop.
So, so that, and then I thought it was a little. I mean, it's a self-help book, but I do think these books are a little too focused on self. Like, obsession with self is not good, and it's not spiritual, and I think that's what bothered me because
it was missing the spirituality. I agree. I actually had that as one of my notes. It was like, where is any connection to others, to helping? I think he thinks writing the book is helping, but like a daily activity of helping others.
Yeah, where's the daily act of service?
Right.
That was missing for me. And then he did mention it a couple times. Like, when you're at work, think about what you can do for your team rather than what your team is or isn't doing for you. That was cool. But, like, I think there needs to be more, like, conscious act of service. And I just think this obsession with self-love, it kind of can cross the line to self-obsession, and I don't like that. And I really started thinking about it during the work chapter because I worked a job for 2 years that I really didn't enjoy as far as the work I was doing. And at the same time, I was developing, doing coaching and going to a course and trying to find my way. But in the meantime, I was working this job.
Right.
What got me through it is not thinking about myself and, this isn't what I'm meant to be doing. It was, how can I be of service today? And towards the end of my job, one of my friends, her husband left her. She had no money. She asked me if she could work with me in this company, and I got her a job there. And because she got that job, she was later able to freelance and work other jobs. And I'm thinking, I wasn't even there for me. I was there so she could get a job there, so she could get other jobs later. So
launch on to something else.
Right. So sometimes we're in a place, not for us, but so somebody else could succeed. And that's, I think, to keep in mind is it's not all about me. I'm not the center of the universe.
Right.
Sometimes I'm in a shitty place so somebody else could get to a better place, and I will be that placeholder. And I will be happily that placeholder.
I love that place. Like, holding that place with eyes wide open and being open to the mystic possibilities of, I truly believe that there is always a reason that you're there.
Yeah.
For whatever, it may not be about you, like you said. Sometimes it's about being a landmark for someone else in their journey,
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. Now, let's go over, is there more that you hated?
You know what, to be fair, I didn't hate it, but it just annoyed his metaphors. Sometimes I was laughing. Like, they were just, he was talking about one of his friends who was
on it.
One of his friends who was a fighter. He was talking about some knockout that he did on YouTube, and he said, that went viral like chlamydia through a freshman dorm. And then he was talking about...
That was one of the more accurate ones that I've ever... that I read throughout the entire book, but yeah.
And this one I wrote down because I was just like, this had to have been a ghostwriter. He was talking about sugar and carbs. And he wrote like how we kind of relapse into sugar. He said, we step back into sugar's BDSM dungeon with the ball gag full of carbs and pay to become its bitch for yet another day. And I was like...
50 Shades of Sugar. I know.
I was done.
50 Shades of Sugar.
Done. So that's that.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That's all you had written down?
I have a ton more, but we're running out of time.
All right. All right. That was a key.
And
so I love that it was behavior based.
Yeah.
And you could really just take, 5 or 10 things out of this book and really change your life with it. You really can. Like you could change your body. You can change your mind. I mean, just giving up sugar will change your body, mind, mood, and relationships. I mean, just that morning routine will change your perspective. Hydration on a level like this will change the way your body works, especially if you're taking in Himalayan salt and makes your brain work better.
Yeah.
So I loved that.
Yeah. I loved how it is section, it's in segments. And yeah, you can pick and choose what you want. So he gave us a smorgasbord of tips. And I'm going to take a couple of those tips. I'm going to take a few of them and run with them. And it ultimately, it did help me.
And I'm super grateful. Yep.
Yeah. So I do want to, thank him for writing it. His presentation, not my cup of tea. But there are some valid things. And I wrote down...
I think so.
I love, one thing I really loved for myself is the connection, the brain-body connection. He talked about that kid who had multiple personalities, I think Tommy or Timmy, who one of his personalities was allergic to orange juice, and he would go into full anaphylactic shock, but only when he was in that personality. And if another personality drank the orange juice, he would be fine. So it just showed the power of the brain-body connection. He mentioned several examples, which I loved. Like he had scientists have people think about flexing their biceps as hard as possible. And they would also measure their biceps to make sure they weren't actually flexing them. And the people who thought about flexing their biceps had like a 23% increase in strength or something, which I just thought was crazy. Just the mind-body connection. I really liked that he talked about that too. So that was super interesting for me. Okay,
so other than that, I do want to say, with all the funny, talk about his way of saying it, like I really did think that this book could help a lot of people with just general knowledge about nutrition and stuff like that, like especially nutrition, because I think that's one problem that at least, it really could be a great foundational tool for the rest of it. Do I think this is going to put you in an enlightened state like he constantly says he's in? No. But I think overall, like if you follow this, you would probably be in pretty good shape.
I think so too. Yeah. So So yay! So what do we got? What do we got next week? What do we got going on?
Okay. So it's a stark contrast to what we have done this week. This one for me was like really difficult because I would, of course, want to go to like the spiritual stuff and exciting stuff like that, which this is basically the mega star of books like this. Next week's read is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This book is pure magic when it comes to creativity. And Liz Gilbert, we are that close, is one of those master souls that are here to teach. She has written bestsellers like Eat, Pray, Love and her latest City of Girls. But this one is all about her perspectives and practices when it comes to her own creativity. And I cannot wait to talk about it.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to listen to it. Like, it's going to be such a stark contrast from...
It's so good. I started it this morning, and oh my God, just the way she words things. And she was talking about fear, and her words humble me.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
All right, guys. Well, join us next week and where we do Elizabeth Gilbert's The Big Magic. And remember, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing badly, which is why we're doing this podcast. Love you.
Go get yourself some help.
Go get help.
Welcome to the afterbirth, everybody.
Birth.
After birth. I don't know. Hi, everybody. This is my favorite part. It's so fun. Let's talk about afterbirth.
Yeah, we got to fact check stuff. We got to talk about stuff.
We're clarifying shit. Like, we might even, dive deeper in our own confusion about this subject.
Probably.
On a lot of things.
Come join our wormhole.
Let's talk about Aubrey Marcus's Own the Day. Own your life. This motherfucker is exhausting.
I was so tired. I was so tired after listening to this whole thing. I was just tired.
And then I dove a little deeper into this guy.
Yeah.
Aubrey Marcus.
Yeah.
He's weird.
There's a saying in Poland that the bright candles burn the shortest. And he's so intense. And I'm like, that is just not sustainable, I don't think.
Do you feel like he has a secret, a major secret? Does he hunt people?
There's something off. Do you know what I'm saying? When you get that feeling in your stomach, the intuition, and that's what I get.
I'd like to confirm that I'm not saying that he hunts people, but he might.
Right, we're gonna have to do an afterbirth for the afterbirth.
It's like when there's a second twin and they didn't, or a twin and they didn't know about it. Was hidden behind the placenta.
There's two afterbirths.
Holy shit. Yeah, there's a baby that we didn't know about.
I generally really want to like people. I do. I really want to like people. And Machik's always saying you're too trusting because, you trust everybody. But sometimes you get this feeling and you're trying to convince yourself to like somebody, but the feeling's no!
Yeah, it's a gut instinct to be okay, I don't, he's got a secret. I don't know what it is.
My baby's got a secret.
Ooh. That's good. That's good.
So what what are we afterbirthing? What are we fact checking? What are we?
Well, there were a couple of things. I think we wanted to say that this book was really good, but for behaviors, but he is definitely not someone that we're going to invite to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I wanted to clarify a couple things. You know how I said I put fulvic acid into my water?
Yeah.
And you said you're drinking dirt?
Yeah.
I'm not, in fact, drinking dirt, everybody.
It's not dirt? Okay.
No. But it's fulvic acids are a family of organic acids, natural compounds and components of the humus.
Like
they
hummus?
Are like hummus, but one less M.
Oh.
I know. That's it. We're going to have to afterbirth that now. Look it up yourselves, bitches. They are similar to humic acids with differences being the carbon and oxygen contents, acidity, degree of polymerization, molecular weight, and color. It boosts your immune system, fights germs, helps with gut health, gives you energy, helps absorb nutrients, helps with pain. And that's the weird part. My neck pain is like non-existent since I've been taking it. Brain health, and it helps you detox heavy metals. So everybody should be putting fulvic acids in their water.
Fulvic acids. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a vulvic.
It's like it's like folic mixed with vulva together.
Yeah. Yes, it is. A marriage made in heaven helps with pain. What else? What did you have on this one?
I didn't have anything on this one.
Did you
I could not return to it, Lizzy. I could not
refuse.
Physically. I had post-traumatic stress from this book.
You're like a millennial now. Like PTSD comes to them like nobody's business.
I physically couldn't return to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all right. I would like to confirm that I have not done any Wim Hof breathing since the end of this book, and I want to get back to that. And I also committed to doing the cryotherapy, and so did you, and we both have not held that up.
No. Oh, but I did do the research that, yes, cryotherapy is covered by the Polish health system if it's prescribed as a therapy by a doctor. So, Poland, actually, this is sort of a fun, interesting fact. There's all these health spas in Poland for the elderly.
Yes.
And there was the movie. What was the movie? I think it was The Lobster or something, where a bunch of old people go and they take baths. And anyway, there's massages, there's like little health treatments, there's pretty good food, and these are prescribed by doctors to go and have a health weekend. So they're like 3-star hotels. It's nothing fancy. But you can, it's covered by the healthcare system in Poland. So
that's amazing. One of the biggest problems I have here in America is that I feel we falsely honor our elderly.
What do you mean?
Like, actions speak louder than words. Like, we're not providing any kind of like comforts for them, and it's just kind of, they get old and you put them in a home and you just walk away. I mean,
the homes are not popular here. That is like an insult to put unless they're in really bad shape. Mm-hmm. Because I have friends who have, parents
my mom was
they have to be in really bad shape.
Yeah, my grandma thought, like, when my mom finally put her in the home, like, and on Golden Girls, they call it would you like to go to the home? Shady Oaks home. But my grandma thought that my mom and stepdad had kidnapped her. Oh. She kept telling me, these two have kidnapped me. Like, and my parents had stairs. Like, my mom was terrified that she fell down the stairs once. And she was she had lost her mind, and she finally had to make that decision, and it was horrible. But, like, even me, I didn't go see my grandma enough. Like, I didn't honor her. Like, after everything that she had done, I didn't go see her enough.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, our culture, and that's something I really regretted when she passed. But, like, we don't honor our elderly enough.
Yeah, we have, so Poland, this is like a real afterbirth. Poland, we have a Day of the Dead. It's All Saints Day or All Souls Day. It's November 1st. So we don't do the Halloween thing really, although it's slowly sometimes Halloween parties and for the kids. But really, it's preparation. Everyone goes to the grave site on November 1st, cleans up the graves of their relatives, puts candles there, has like a moment, quiet moment. Sometimes we share memories, and it is at night, the whole graveyard, because these are like these votive, like these beautiful candles, different colored candle holders or whatever they call them. So the whole cemetery is like just twinkling different colors, and then there's just like smoke rising above it.
Beautiful.
So it's really gorgeous, and you do it once a year. They do the same
things in Mexico, right? The Day of the Dead.
Mexico, I think, is a little more, it's kind of a mix between that and Halloween, because they do dress up and they do have these little things. But Poland, it's really a day of reverie. So is that the word, reverie? So it's just really calm and quiet and peaceful, and you remember your family that way, So did you see, there's this show, it was called, it was like a horror show, The Haunted House or something like that. And I don't watch scary things. Oh, I do. I love scary things. So it was about when people die and people forget them, the ghosts of them, like their ghosts start disappearing, and you have to keep remembering them for them.
That was a Disney movie, Coco.
Oh, well, but no, there was another.
That was amazing. That was Coco.
But that's Coco great. Too. Yeah, but there was another one that was, now we're going to have to do an afterbirth for the afterbirth, because I can't remember what that was. But anyway, so I just, that would be impossible in Poland, because, people once a year, it's a have to do. You go, you clean up the gravesite. Everyone has their brushes, their water, like you clean it up. And the graves in America, they're like these flat stones. In Poland, they're like these, everyone chooses big, their own. And I just remember going with my friend, Kelly. She came to Poland to visit me with her daughter. And we were walking through the, cemetery, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, I'm going to get you one like that."
That's so funny.
Because they're very like well done. It's almost like in New Orleans, where they're
That's how they are in. Well, they're not really. Well, they kind of are in St. Thomas, but they're very they're not underground. Number one, because it's just rock, but they're it's. But I think I like that Poland takes care of their elderly before they die. That's a big deal.
That's another thing. Yeah, I mean,
that's a huge deal. Me. Once I'm dead, I don't want to take up space. I don't want to, just go on. Have a party for me every year.
Yeah.
But don't cry. But, the elderly, it's we don't honor them here and very well. We'll honor the hell out of police. We'll honor the hell out of, any kind of military. We'll honor, but these people they're our mothers and fathers from and we just don't do much for them.
Right.
But anyway, let's move on. Sorry, Grandma, I loved you.
I still love you, Grandma.
I still love you, G. But let's talk about binaural beats. Oh, we brought that up. He talked about it.
What is it?
Binaural beats are those different tones that they put in each ear, and it relaxes you. It puts you in kind of a meditative state. I did want to confirm that it does reduce. It's been proven to reduce anxiety, increase focus and concentration, lower stress, increase relaxation, foster positive moods, promote creativity, and help manage pain. And that's all I have. I'm so done with this book. Are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done. I didn't want to go into it. We didn't so our listeners know we sometimes re-record episodes. We couldn't do it for this one. So what you hear is what you get.
It was long too. Why did we make it so long?
The episode?
Yeah.
I think because The book was long.
The book was long. You're welcome, people.
So anyway, Leah, we're done.
We're done. All right. Thank you for listening. And if you like us, please go on and follow us and rate us. If you don't like us, go make your own fucking podcast.
See if you can do
and leave
better.
ours alone.
Give us 5 stars anyway, because you have to do the opposite.
Yeah, 5 stars. Do the right
take the
thing.
opposite of it. Take the opposite action. I always do the opposite of the bad thing, right? So, so to make yourself feel better, if you hate us, leave us 5 stars. You'll get a point in heaven, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. You might find $1 on the ground. All right. Well, I love you and see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, girl.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Rate and follow us if you like us. If you don't, please don't.
And come visit us at www.theweneedhelppodcast.com. There you can find show notes, links for books. You can join Audible, which is, how we actually read our books. We listen to them. And we have special exclusive content just for you. Also, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon account. That's where you can support us financially because we need it. And it can be anywhere from $1 to $100 billion a month, whatever you can afford. And the link to our Patreon account is www.patreon, and that's spelled patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast. And you can support us on there. We would really appreciate it because we do need help.
Awesome. And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks,
Bye.
loves. Bye.